First of all, the first step or the steps to running a successful business is you need to identify what you want to do, right? That's the most important thing. So I tell people, if you have a degree in IT, if you have a degree in human, that's where your passion is. And the funny thing is we realize this, our hearts dream at a very early age, just that we don't take it seriously. So you realize if from a very young age you like to sing, that is your passion, right? It does not wear off, it's just you. You'll wake up, sleep, wake up, that is what will always be passionate about, whatever. So for someone like me, I've always had maybe 1-2 different passions, but IT was my core passion. So I tell people step number 1 is identify the right business. Right? The right business is what you think about when you wake up late at night. That is the right business, right? Passion builds a strong brand. You need to be very passionate about it. So once you identify the brand, you need to be able to see. The second item is, how do I learn? How do I go learn from someone who's already done it before? So this is where now you tone down and say, okay, fine, I'm going for an internship somewhere and I'm going to spend 2 years, 3 years learning this business. How do I do it professionally? How do I wear a tie? How do I wear a suit? How do I go for meetings? How do I write emails? That is step number 2. And most people jump from university to doing the business without that bit. And it's very, very important. So for example, if I want to get into, for example, I want to own a circle at some point, I need to learn the financial institution, right? So how do I join a bank, And for most people, when they're applying for jobs, they want to send 1,000 CVs to every single person that is there. I tell people, no, that's not how it's done. Identify a brand that you like, right? I've banked with these guys. I know how they do business. I want to be part of them. Understand who's the bank manager or operations manager. I know it seems like a lot of work, but you need to fine-tune it in such a way that you know exactly what they stand for, their values. You've gone through their website. You understand exactly how they do business. So that when you're applying, you're making that application, you know who you're talking to. You understand their culture. When you're going for the interview, you know exactly what you're talking about. So once you're in that line of business, it becomes, you jump from one step to another, learn, grow in that business, so that when you exit, there are some things no one can ever take from you. What you have learned in that particular business, no one can say, okay, fine, I'm taking this away, because you're leaving, it becomes part of you. So once you've learned that, third item is you start small, right? Start very small. The humility of a business, or a humility of a businessman when they're starting is usually very, very, it's tricky, because you see, as a businessman, you want to be seen grand and big and all that. In the meantime, you're killing yourself, right? Instead of saving and building on something more solid, you're spending all your money and resources on paying rent, paying 15 employees, right? So initially, I say, before you understand your own business, don't hire anyone. Don't hire anyone. You need to understand how to sell yourself. When you call a programmer, for example, for us, I know I know exactly what I'm doing, right? So you cannot come and tell me, okay, fine, Adams, there's this and this issue. I know exactly what you're doing. When you're talking about the HR team, I know how to hire. I know how to do all those. So every single part of the business, I understand, right? So when it gets to that point, I can say, I'm hiring a team based on knowledge, and I hire slowly, right? You hire slowly, you understand them, and you're training them on a process or a business you already understand. You've done it, you know the ins and outs, you know how the clients respond, you know how the clients, how they respond, the kind of feedback you expect, how, the nitty-gritties, right? So understand the business, do the business yourself initially. That's why I encourage people, get online first, right? If you're selling chondos, you're selling whatever kind of business you're doing, first of all, get online. So go to buydomainkenya.co.ke, buy your domain, register it, set up your website, and sell online first, right? And these days, it's not like in the old era where we didn't have technology. Right now, technology is there, right? We're able to easily reach people with a few clicks, right? So start there. Even if you're going to do the business from home, that's where you're supposed to be, right? When the money is coming in, people are paying you. You can predict your income for the next 3 months. That's when you take the first step, right? And take a small, just a small space for you to start, right? Hire one person. Yeah, if you look at the history of Chris Kiruba, I think he started with one secretary, right? And for a whole week or a whole month, he didn't even know what he was doing, right? So if such people can do whatever they've done, so far, their brand still, we still use big to date. So in my thinking, that's how it's supposed to be done. Then gradually build the business to what it's supposed to be. So the structures are done, your people are there. You need to make sure that you set up the team to succeed you as the entrepreneur, because you don't want to be there all the time. You don't want to be the face of the business all the time. So now you're setting yourself up to be an advisor, right? Advisor, you can become chairman, you can call all those fancy names you want, but you're no longer actively involved in the business. So you then plan for them to continue the business without, now you can hire the MBAs and the fancy titles and all that, and you step aside, letting them get listed. Basically that would be my line of thinking.